Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Blepnir. I'm a member of the Palatine community, and today I wanted to go over some of my battles using a very fun team in the Ultra League Halloween Cup. Now, this team allowed me to climb by a lot of points, over 100 points. It was very easy and fun to use. And what my thinking was when I made this team was basically that there seems to be a huge weakness to bug steel type in the front and bug steel type in the back in this current meta. There's a lot of Giratina altered in this meta. It's the most common Pokemon in this meta, which Genesect Chill can very much deal with. And obviously the Escavalier and the Mandibuzz have okay matchups with as well. And in addition to that, the second most common Pokemon is going to be a poison type. So, Nidoqueen or Drapion or a Skuntank. Any poison type is going to have a very hard time against both Genesect and Escavalier. So I was making a hard read on the meta when I made this team. Escavalier has X-Scissor and Chill Technoblast. And the reason why I chose X-Scissor over Magnet Bomb is because I'm pretty confident that I can take shields with the bait move, and X-Scissor is a cheaper bait move than Magnet Bomb. I have Escavalier for the Charmers, so I don't necessarily need Magnet Bomb for the Charmers. And on Escavalier, I actually have Acid Spray and Drill Run as my two charge moves. And the reason why I have Acid Spray, you're going to see, is that it actually flips a lot of important matchups, including the mirror matchup. So when the opponent has Escavalier and I have Escavalier with Acid Spray, I'm in the very positive situation of being able to Acid Spray bait and then counter down the opponent. Very, very rarely will opponents expect an Acid Spray because so many Escavaliers are carrying Mega Horn in this current meta. So that's why I have Acid Spray. And then the Mandibuzz in the back just serves as a meat shield. It's one of the most bulky Pokemon in this meta. One of the most bulky Pokemon in the Ultra League in general. And with access to Wing Attack, it is doing a lot of fast move damage. And then obviously it's just going to be beating down the opponents with Foul Play and Aerial Ace as the charge moves. So let's see how these battles go. But before we do that, I actually wanted to mention that if you're a beginner looking to test your chops in PvP, if you're an expert looking to reach the higher ranks, looking to reach the leaderboard, then I highly, highly recommend that you join the Pallet Town Discord and Patreon. Links are down below. So let's see how I do with this team. So we have our first matchup versus Green Groudon. We have a Scrafty in the lead. So this is a very good example of how much Technoblast can do in these neutral situations. They actually don't throw their foul play, which is good for me because I get off this Technoblast first, and boom! Look how much damage that does versus the very bulky Scrafty. I actually switch into my Escavalier so I can catch the foul play onto Escavalier. Escavalier being my safe swap here. And I bait out another Escavalier. So the reason why Escavalier is my safe swap is because I didn't encounter very many hard counters to Escavalier. Not much can really do damage to Escavalier in the back in the current meta. And they actually are forced to throw their move. You see here that I throw the Acid Spray. Like I said before, I have Acid Spray for these mirror matchups. And I force them to throw, which is really good because now I'm going to be able to farm down this double debuffed Escavalier with Mandibuzz. So the Escavalier does throw Mega Horn, which does really hurt. This is why Escavalier usually carries Mega Horn, is for this matchup with the Mandibuzz. It does really hurt, but the Mandibuzz has a lot of energy here, and they come in with a Scizor. So Scizor does not have a good matchup with Mandibuzz, especially when Mandibuzz has so much energy. It's able to absolutely beat down this very delicate Scizor with the wing attacks, with the air slashes, and with the foul plays. And then I come right into my Genesect. I want to absorb this energy here on Genesect. They actually get the attack boost. This is not good. So I actually let my... Okay, let's rewind here. I let my Genesect go down. So they got the attack boost, and then they switched, knowing that they would die, to a Technoblast. And instead of throwing my Technoblast or my X-Scissor here, I let myself get farmed down. And the reason why I do that is because my Mandibuzz is still quite healthy and is going to be doing super effective damage with these air slashes. So I shield up a power-up punch here because I know that I am going to be able to reach a foul play before the opponent reaches three X-Scissors, or Night Slashes rather. So they only reach one Night Slash, and this foul play is actually going to take out the very delicate Sizer from this health range. So just showing how bulky Mandibuzz is, how glassy Sizer is, how Mandibuzz is able to absolutely dominate that matchup. So here we have a Giratina into my Genesect. This is the most common situation in this league. I always go for the big move. I always go for the Technoblast because I know that there is a possibility that they don't shield the Technoblast. So in this case, they did shield it, but look at this. We actually have shield advantage here. And having shield advantage this early in the game is really good. They actually swap. So not only did we have shield advantage, but they also swap. So this is a very good situation. They Aqua Tail me. That's not going to kill. I do go for the Technoblast. This is going to absolutely decimate the very bulky Shadow Drapion. Look at that. Boom, baby. Technoblast is such a solid move. I'm very glad that Genesect got such a good move. And then they Aqua Tail me. So they have Aqua Tail. They're going to get to one more Aqua Tail, and then I'm going to take them out. So they're not going to get to 3 Aqua Tails, which is good. It's not going to do that much damage to me. I'm still at a decent amount of health. And I have a lot of farm. Once again, Mandibuzz showing how deadly it can be when it's able to farm off of an almost dead opponent and get some energy. And so it's going to be raining down these Aerial Aces. And after 2 Aerial Aces, this Alolan Muck looks like it can be just about countered down. So this is looking good for me. I actually was trying to switch in my Escavalier here, but you're going to see that they throw the Acid Spray onto my my Mandibuzz, of course, like what other move that they could throw. So it's good that I was able to switch out after they threw the Acid Spray, because now I took off my Acid Spray debuff. I'm able to rain down these drill runs onto the opposing Giratina Altered. And you're going to see that I'm actually going to be able to reach 2 drill runs before they reach their second move. I have shield advantage. Things are looking good here. I will be able to counter down this Giratina. If this is a Dragon Claw bait, then I will be able to counter down after this Dragon Claw. Sure enough, it is a Dragon Claw. They are not in a good situation here. I am able to switch into the Mandibuzz, so this is an important play by me because I am able to snipe them with the Mandibuzz. And now I have all 3 of my Pokemon left alive, which is not a good situation for this Muck, which isn't going to be able to do very much charge move pressure at all with these Acid Sprays, with these Dark Pulses. I take them out with the Mandibuzz. So the 3 Pokeball Flex, I have 3 of my Pokemon alive. I killed all 3 of my opponent's Pokemon. That is a good game. Once again, Mandibuzz really showing its bulk there. And once again, we have the most common matchup, the Giratina into the Genesect. Once again, this is a positive situation for me. We're going to see if they shield this time. I do not think that I ever go for the bait here. I just go straight for the big move. And they no shield. So this is a great situation for me, a situation I've seen multiple times. I can just go for the X-Scissor here and take them out. They Ancient Power. I go into the Escavalier, and the reason why I go into Escavalier is because I don't anticipate that they're going to have a hard counter in the back, considering that the Giratina Altered has such a positive matchup versus counter users. And sure enough, we see a Drapion. And Drapion is not a good counter to a Scavalier, especially with an energy advantage. I could have actually gone for the Acid Spray there to do a little more damage with these counters. But I go for the Drill Run. They shield the Drill Run, fair enough. And then they double crunch me to take me out. So I have to decide what I want to do here. I'm probably going to go back into Genesect because I'm going to be able to get to this Technoblast before they get to another crunch. You got to remember, I had a lot of energy here on the Genesect before I swapped. And now I'm able to take out that very bulky Drapion with the Technoblast. They no-shielded. They called it, maybe thinking it would be a Magnet Bomb, but even a Magnet Bomb would do a ton of damage to them. And then they come into Overquill, and folks, I do not like Overquill. This thing is scary. When the first time I saw it, I thought that the move animation was bugged because it just does not move. But it turns out that this is actually what was intended with Overquill. It is a very unsettling Pokemon. But luckily for me, it has Ice Beam. Despite the fact it has Ice Beam, the Overquill is just not going to be able to put on enough fast move pressure to take out my Mandibuzz before I get to this Aerial Ace. And then they concede the match. So they're seeing the writing on the wall. Even though Poison Jab is a very good move, they are not able to Poison Jab me down before I Air Slash them down. Once again, the Mandibuzz just showing how bulky it is, showing how absolutely overpowered it is. We have Genesect into Alolan Ninetales. Now, this is a great matchup because they will always switch out here. They do not have any confidence in me having X-Scissor. They always think I carry Magnet Bomb. The risk is too great, so they switch out. And then I'm able to catch a Mud Bomb from Toxicroak onto my Mandibuzz. So that's where the counting comes in handy. I am able to catch one Mud Bomb. I do take this Sludge Bomb, and then I'm going to be able to farm up. I farm up to 3 Air Slashes. I could have potentially done 5 Air Slashes, but I was worried that I would tie them to a move, and at that point I would have to shield up. So I do just take them out with an Aerial Ace, and we have to see what they come in with. Do they come back in? They do come back in with their Ninetales, of course, and they're going to try to farm me down. But they're not going to be able to farm me down before I do a ton of damage to them with these Air Slashes and these Aerial Aces. I will reach another Aerial Ace before they farm me down. And they decide to throw their energy. So maybe a safe, astute call on their part, but they could have not considered the fact that I have another Steel Bug type in the back. So they are not in a good situation because they are pretty much energy dry here. They switch immediately into their own Genesect Chill, possibly thinking that I was going to switch into my Genesect Chill. But this puts me in a very good situation because I am able to just throw this Acid Spray here. And Acid Spray is going to force them to shield because they think that I'm going to Drill Run, right? There's no way that they're going to risk taking a Drill Run onto their very delicate Genesect. And then I actually bait again with the X-Scissor, and it turns out that was a mistake because Technoblast would have taken them out. But then again, I do reach this next X-Scissor before they reach their move. I do take them out, and then they are actually forced to throw their energy immediately on their Alolan Ninetales. That's not going to be nearly enough to take me out. They're going to have to throw another one, and I actually get to this Technoblast. So this is going to really hurt. We're going to see how much this does. And they shield! So they still think that I might have Magnet Bomb. They throw their move here. It's really good that they shielded there because now we will be able to safely take them out with the Drill Run. They have a little bit of excess energy here, but there's no way that they're going to reach 3 Weather Balls before I reach my Drill Run. First Weather Ball comes through. These Weather Balls would be resisted, but Escavalier is not a very tanky Pokemon. So luckily they do not reach even the second Weather Ball before I reach my Drill Run. And that is a good game. Once again, folks, Mandibuzz is just so bulky. It's a very overpowered Pokemon in this current meta. So we have our Genesect into Shadow Nidoqueen. This is a great matchup, It's a very common matchup as well. A lot of people leading Nido Queens, having Nido Queens in the back. But I make a mistake here. I actually go for my X's too early. I was trying to sync with their moves, and I did not do it correctly. They know the counts for Technoblast. They can no-shield this. And then I no-shield, and it's an Earth Power. So this is not looking great. They come into Scizor, and instead of swapping it, I decide to throw my Technoblast just because Scizor is so delicate that they have to shield this. And then I have shield advantage. So my Genesect is gone, but I have shield advantage. I have an Escavalier, so not all is lost. I do go into my Mandibuzz. So this is not a very safe situation because X-Scissors are going to really hurt. Iron Head's going to really hurt. This is enough for an Iron Head. But they throw a Night Slash. So I'm not sure if they were baiting or if possibly they were fishing for the double boost to attack that they can get if they get lucky on the Night Slash. That's a 1 in 8 chance with Night Slashes to get a double boost on attack. But they're just raining down these Night Slashes, and those Night Slashes are not going to be enough. The foul play absolutely destroys that Scizor. That is a lot of damage from a not very powerful foul play on the Mandibuzz, just showing how delicate the Shadow Scizor really is. And so they basically their Scizor is basically dead, and they come back in with the Nidoqueen. I immediately swap into the Escavalier because I want to save my Mandibuzz for whatever's in the back. And so the Nidoqueen actually shields. So I'm going to shield in return, thinking that this is the Earth Power. I know this is enough for the Earth Power, and it is the Poison Fang. So I was taken for a fool. I got Poison Fanged. I am just going to take them out with this Earth Power with this drill run at this point. And now they have an Obstagoon in the back, so it's really good that I saved my Mandibuzz because I am just going to be able to switch right into my Mandibuzz, clear my defense debuff from the Poison Fang, and then Aerial Aces plus Air Slashes should be enough to take out this Obstagoon, especially if they throw Night Slashes. I don't know what this Obstagoon is running, but Night Slashes are not going to be enough to take out the Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is going to be able to Air Slash down from this point. Even if this is a Cross Chop, it is not enough to take me out. So I will get to the Aerial Ace before they can take me out. It is a Night Slash. That is not going to be nearly enough. These counters doing absolutely no damage on the very bulky Mandibuzz. And that is a good game. So next up we have Genesect into Giratina Altered once again. Once again, one of the most common matchups. They switch immediately into Scizor, so this is also something that we saw a lot, was the opponent switching into a Steel Bug type. You see there that I was actually trying to catch this Night Slash onto the Mandibuzz. I was not able to do so. So I switched into the Mandibuzz immediately afterwards, and this is a questionable play because they are going to be able to reach at least one Iron Head here. They shield, so they're going to reach 2 Iron Heads here if they have Iron Head, which I expect them to have. So I am actually going to shield here, thinking that this is the Iron Head. Sure enough, it is. So it's good that I shielded, but they are going to reach another Iron Head at the same time I reach my foul play, and I make a really stupid mistake here. I throw my move at the same time that they throw their Iron Head. I know this is enough for the Iron Head. There's no reason for them to bait. Sure enough, it is. So I no bubble this move because I want to get as much farm as possible onto the Scizor. I know that they're not going to reach another move before I farm them down, and I get as much farm as possible. So all is not lost, and I do get to this foul play here on the Giratina, and I have to decide what I want to do from here. Do I want to give this Giratina the farm? No, I do not. So I actually go into my Genesect, and I bait here. This is a huge bait, a very risky bait. But I do get the shield, luckily. They are not willing to get rid of their Giratina quite yet. So they do throw the Ancient Power, and I no-shield it, thinking that I would get to the Technoblast, but I was wrong. So maybe I should have shielded that, so I guaranteed I got to the Technoblast. But I still have a full health Escavalier in the back. I have Mandibuzz that I can use to catch a move. So all is not lost. I am going to no-shield this move oh, I do shield it. Okay, so So I do shield that move just because Escavalier is not the most tanky of Pokemon by any means. And then I'm going to throw this Drill Run, and this will put them into counter down range. So they have to go into their Nidoqueen. And this might seem like a little bit of a scary situation because Earth Power will kill my Escavalier, but it's not. And I'm going to tell you why. So you're going to see here that I switch out into the Mandibuzz at 9 Poison Jabs. And this might seem like a very tricky swap to make, but I knew that they're going to throw their Earth Power after 9 Poison Jabs. Let's see that again. So they swap into the Nidoqueen. They do 1, 2, 3. I throw my move. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They throw 9 moves, and then I catch onto my Mandibuzz. The reason why I knew that they're going to throw 9 Poison Jabs is because they cannot afford to CMP tie me. I was 1 counter away from reaching the Drill Run, as you can see there. And if we CMP tied, they would lose because they lose CMP. At the same time, they're not going to throw it at 8 Poison Jabs, which is when they reach their Earth Power, because they think that I think that that's the most likely time that they would throw their move when they first get it. So if someone was very clever, they might anticipate that I would catch at 9 Poison Jabs. But luckily, this person thinks that their only option is to throw at 9 because they don't want to throw at 8 because that is when I would be most likely to catch. And they don't want to throw at 10 because that's when I get to my Drill Run. So in this situation, I was able to read them correctly. They throw their move. They throw their Earth Power at 9 Poison Jabs. And then I do get to this Drill Run. And they realize that. They realize that the game was over as soon as I caught. And that is a good game. Next up, we have our Genesect into an Incineroar. This is a terrible lead. This Incineroar can run through my entire team as long as they have Fire Fang. But they have Snarl. So this is a big win con for us. We do have to throw the Acid Spray, though. And I'm going to tell you why. We have to throw the Acid Spray because that is the most surefire way to win this matchup. Even if they no shield here, they somehow call my Acid Spray, I will be able to counter them down after this. So I do have to shield up their Flame Charge, obviously. But I throw the Acid Spray, and they do shield, which is really good. If they no shielded it, I could still win that matchup, whereas if they shielded a Drill Run, I would not win as safely because my counters would not be doing enough damage to take them out in time. So I actually threw that Drill Run onto the Sizer, as you can see, because I was thinking that maybe Sizer would think I'd throw another Acid Spray, but they do shield up my Drill Run. Good shield by them. And then I'm going to throw another Drill Run after using my second shield, and this is going to take them out. I really want to keep Switch here because I know that my that my Mandibuzz has a very positive matchup versus the very squishy Incineroar. And they come into Drapion against my Escavalier. That is not a good matchup. After they take out my Escavalier, I go immediately to Genesect, anticipating that they're going to swap into Incineroar. Sure enough, they do. And I have my Mandibuzz to match them. So this is once again showing that this team has a major weakness to Steel Bug types in the back. If they're not able to take care of Steel Bug types in the lead, then there's really nothing they can do against them with their Nidoqueen in the back. They Flame Charge my Mandibuzz, which is not nearly enough to take me out, and they have the Drapion in the back, and that is a good game. So next up we have Genesect into Giratina Altered. Once again, a great matchup. The most common matchup in this league. I will go for the Technoglass. I'm not going to bait, but we're going to see what they do. I do expect this to be an Ancient Power. Most Giratina Altereds are carrying Ancient Power here. Hits me for neutral damage. This would absolutely obliterate them if it lands. Let's see if it does. And boom, baby! Yeah, so oftentimes they will, the Giratina will actually let the Technoblast land, which is very good for me. I do catch a Dragon Claw onto my Mandibuzz, which is quite good. They have a Shadow Nidoqueen. So I do have to take these Poison Fangs. The Poison Fangs are going to be doing a lot of damage. The Poison Jabs are going to be doing a lot of damage. And I throw an Aerial Ace, so that's a huge mistake here. I should have thrown a Foul Play, obviously. But I throw an Aerial Ace. Not ideal by any means, but I can just keep taking these Poison Fangs. And this time around, I'm going to throw the Foul Play. This opponent must be so confused here. Like, why did I throw the Aerial Ace the first time? I just forgot that I should throw Foul Play. I was distracted. But this is not a terrible situation because I am able to farm down with my Escavalier. I was counting here. I knew that that would be a Poison Fang. That was not enough for an Earth Power. So once again, this is where we really love Acid Spray because we know that the Scissor is going to be shielding our move. The Scissor does not want to take a Drill Run. That would do a ton of damage to the very delicate Scissor. So now I can go for this Drill Run the next time. And here, maybe the Scissor is going to think that I'm going to be baiting it. Let's see. They do shield it up, so good call by them, shielding it. But look how much these counters are doing. Double defense dropped counters, doing a ton of damage versus this very delicate Scissor. And from here, I should just be able to outbulk the opponent. They do throw a move here. I do expect this to be an X Scissor. And if so, it's going to really hurt. But it doesn't kill! Just showing how incredibly bulky the Manabuzz is. Manabuzz is just too bulky for this very meta line to take out. The Sizer throws the next slash. That's not enough. And then they try to catch a move. They're unsuccessful. And that is game over. So here we have Genesect Chill into Nidoqueen. Another pretty common matchup. And a matchup that Genesect can win in general situations. And then they switch into a Steel Bug type. So once again, Steel Bug type switch-ins to Genesect are quite common. And I was trying to catch the Drill Run there, but I miscounted. I actually switched too early, and they do manage to throw the Mega Horn at me. So that is not great. I am going to be able to outbulk this as Cavalier, however, with the Mandibuzz. Throw these Foul Plays. And I do actually have to shield up this Mega Horn. I don't think that they're going to bait here. The risk of baiting is too high. They throw the Mega Horn. And I am going to be able to farm them down here. They actually survive to get to a Drill Run, but I know this is just a Drill Run. This is not going to be a Mega Horn, and this is not going to threaten me. Drill Run barely even tickles, barely even registers. And then they come into their Nidoqueen, and the reason why I swap into my Genesect here is because I have two responses to the Nidoqueen. I have Genesect and I have Escavalier. So I am able to safely bait there just knowing I have the Escavalier in the back. I did think that they were going to shield that just because I had so much energy. And boom! Look how much damage that does! Luckily, because we baited the first time, we are able to land the Technoblast Ice. And that is a lot of damage versus the very bulky Nidoqueen. That is very satisfying. So they do throw the Earth Power at me here. They are going to take me out. The very delicate Genesect, even more delicate than Escavalier, does get easily taken out by that Earth Power. But now I'm able to farm down with Escavalier. They go immediately into Gengar. So this is definitely a good situation for me because they would have to reach the big move to take out my Escavalier. The Escavalier will not be taken out by a Shadow Punch. They would have to either throw 2 Shadow Punches or throw a Shadow Ball. They are going to throw a Shadow Punch, you see here, and I do think that they make it to a second Shadow Punch. However, I do throw the Drill Run. They know that they need another Shadow Punch to take out my Mandibuzz after this, and so they do not throw their Shadow Punch. And that is a good game. Once again, Escavalier absolutely sweeping in the back. So we have a Genesect Chill into a Fortress. This is not a great matchup for the Genesect Chill, just because Fortress has access to Sand Tomb. It has access to Earthquake. My Technoblast will still really hurt. I do catch here, so I think that I'm catching a Sand Tomb, which would be really great. I'm hoping for a Sand Tomb, but it's a Rock Tomb! And I totally forgot that this thing gets Rock Tomb. This is not a good situation. Because Rock Tomb is super effective, obviously. It lowers my attack But you're going to see here Mandibuzz showing off its true bulk because it's just going to get super effective Rock Tomb after super effective Rock Tomb. It's going to tank him like a boss, and it's going to just keep throwing foul plays. And you're going to see here that the Fortress is put into a not very good situation here. If they allow this next foul play to go through, then I will be able to farm them down. And I get there before they reach their Rock Tomb. So they have to make a decision. Are they going to shield this? They no shield. And so I could shield this up and farm them down at this point. We're going to see what I want to do. I do let this go. And the reason why I let this go is because my Escavalier is I think the Escavalier is going to sweep in the back. I can just farm this all the way down. I have about 100 energy on my Genesect. 100 energy on Genesect and an Escavalier is a very good situation. But they have a Tapu Fini, and this is not a good matchup with Genesect. But with Escavalier. But if there's ever a time that you want Acid Spray on Escavalier, it's against the Tapu Fini. I get them to shield up the Acid Spray, which is fantastic. That's the best thing we could possibly hope for. I'm sure that they thought that this would be a drill run. But now we're able to get to the drill run before they reach their second Surf. So this is a good situation. They no-shield it. They're thinking that this is another Acid Spray. So that's fantastic. We will actually live this Surf by a little bit of health. And then they come into Nidoqueen. So they get a lot of energy on the Nidoqueen. So good on them for getting all that energy. But we have so much energy here. We're almost at 2 Technoblasts. So we throw the first Technoblast. We get the shield. And we throw the second one. They have no shields. This is a very bulky Pokemon. This is a Nidoqueen. Boom! Gets taken out by the Technoblast. That's almost 100% of the Nidoqueen's health taken out. And that is a good game. Just showing how deadly the Genesect Chill can be in the back. So this is another fairly common lead, the Mandibuzz. And Mandibuzz has a fairly poor matchup versus the Genesect. I do bait here. So this is probably a mistake. This was later on in my sets. I was getting confident. I thought I could bait safely, but they actually call it. So this was the first person that actually called our bait, and we should have definitely gone for the Technoblast here. We've seen the Technoblast land so many times before, but all is not lost because we switch into our Mandibuzz, and they don't have a hard counter for Mandibuzz. You see here that they have a Nidoqueen, which with an energy advantage, Mandibuzz has a pretty good matchup with. The Mandibuzz you see here absolutely chunking with the Air Slashes. This is a Shadow Nidoqueen, which will take even more damage pressure from all these Air Slashes and all these foul plays. And this Poison Fang is not going to be nearly enough to take me out. If they no-shield up this next foul play, I will be able to farm them down. They have to decide if they want to shield up this foul play or not. And they do shield it up. So I go immediately into Escavalier. And the reason why I go into Escavalier is because, once again, I have 2 Steel Bug types remaining. And I don't want them to get any more farm. I correctly called the Earth Power. I knew that they were at the Earth Power. And so now here, this is obviously where Mega Horn would be very handy. But I have Acid Spray. I do Acid Spray them. Now my counters are going to be doing a lot more damage. So not an entirely horrible situation for me here. The Mandibuzz being bulky, ironically, kind of makes the Acid Spray hurt even more. Just because I'm going to be landing so many more counters on them. The counters are going to really, really hurt. I land the second Acid Spray. This Acid Sprays are starting to do a good chunk of damage. They are forced to throw their move. I do shield here because I'm expecting a poison type in the back. This is where Escavalier can absolutely go off with an energy advantage and with Acid Spray. I'm expecting a poison type. Sure enough, it is. I throw the Acid Spray. I knew it would be a poison type, but I was expecting them to shield here because we've seen the poison type shield the Acid Spray in the past, but they don't. So this was a smart play by them, but they actually simultaneously swap with me. I do think that this is going to be a Poison Fang here, but if it is, it is a Poison Fang. So luckily I was counting correctly. That is a Poison Fang, and at this point I should be able to take out the Drapion. I do bait here. If they call the bait, it's no big deal. because I have another X-Scissor and I CMP tie them. So they're throwing all their energy here. This is great because they're forced to shield this or else they'll just die anyway. And then they throw all their energy. So at this point, I should be able to take them out with my remaining 2 Pokemon, with the Mandibuzz, with a good bit of health left, and the Genesect, and the Escavalier, sorry, with also a good, decent bit of health left. Yeah, sure enough, I do reach the Drill Run on this Cavalier. The Drapion in the back is just not going to be able to crack this back line. It's two Pokemon that have quite a good matchup versus the Shadow Drapion. So you see there, folks, that last matchup, I made 2 very stupid mistakes. I threw the I threw the X-Scissor onto the Mandibuzz instead of throwing the super effective Technoblast Chill, and I also threw a Acid Spray onto the Shadow Drapion instead of throwing the super effective Drill Run, but I was able to win anyway, and I think that that is a good determination of a powerful team, is being able to win even after making so many mistakes, and it's just because of the fact that it's a very tricky team to deal with for most of the meta. You know, the Giratina Altereds, the Drapions, all of the poison types really. None of them really want to encounter this double Bug Steel team. And having a Bug Steel type in the front and a Bug Steel type in the back ensures that you really have that coverage with the Bug Steel typing. It goes a long way. Bug Steel is an incredibly strong typing. I saw very few fire types in this meta, and even one of the ones that I did, the Incineroar, did go down to this team. If you guys use this team, if you find luck with it, if you're having trouble with it, please comment down below. Please leave this video a like and check out our community. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.